Hey everybody, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where I answer the questions that you have and sometimes concerns. So today's topic, I know I've talked a little bit about immune system and helping benefit and increase your immune system over time, but I had somebody recently really tell me, maybe they're sick of me talking about this, because I fully believe that boosting your immune system is probably the most effective thing you can do to fight against COVID-19. But somebody recently told me that there's nothing that we can do fast enough that will prevent us from getting the virus. Now, while that might be true, you might not be able to avoid getting the virus itself. You can avoid the difficulties of it by benefiting your immune system and building that. So we're going to talk a little bit about how long that can take, because of course, like if there's nothing we can currently do and it's coming right now. But I disagree. I 100% disagree that there is not a thing that you can do immediately that will not encourage your immune system. Okay, you're gonna hear the water in the background. It's so beautiful outside, but I don't want to stay inside because it's so dark. So I apologize that my sprinklers just came on. I guess I could turn them off. But maybe it'll cool it off a little bit out here. I'll just move over so it's not getting on my screen. Okay, so back to what we're talking about, which is what can you do that can immediately benefit and boost your immune system, because there are things that you can do. We've talked a little bit about the things that suppress your immune system. I'm grabbing my water here. And so we're gonna fall back on these. And you know what? You might be sick of hearing from me, but here's my frustration. If you are as concerned about it as most of us are, there should be some big things that you'd be willing to do in order to avoid the difficulties and the things that can happen if we're not prepared for it. One of the risk factors that they're talking about is type 2 diabetes or metabolic disease. And so, and my daughter's trying to come in the background. Go for it, hun. So if you are one of those people, I mean, obviously, the stats are that 88% of us in America are actually metabolically unhealthy, and that is unacceptable. I really fully believe that this is Mother Nature trying to tell us something, and many of us are not listening. So let's start with things that you can do that will immediately boost your immune system. Number one, stop eating sugar. Right? I know you don't want to hear it. I totally get it. A lot of us are eating our feelings and dealing with, that's our coping skill right now, is eating things that are unhealthy for us, processed food. But if you can look this up, 1 teaspoon of sugar can actually suppress your immune system by 50% for up to several hours. Now, how many teaspoons of sugar are in a can of soda? Right? So again, a lot of us are getting not only, many of us don't even know how much sugar that we're getting because we don't pay any attention. Sugar hides in things that you would be flat out amazed. Things like salad dressing, ketchup and spaghetti sauce, mayonnaise, believe it or not, which I find really fascinating. But again, and even your body does not know the difference between a natural sugar and regular sugar, although obviously one's a little bit better for you. And benefit of natural sugar, usually that product, say fruit, comes with fiber that slows down the absorption rate of sugars into your bloodstream. But let's just say in general, just cut out junk. If you cut out food that you know is not exactly healthy for you, you're going to have a leg up, right? Alongside that, also cut out alcohol. Now, again, you guys, I get it. It's not that I don't understand. I've had a few of those days where I am just over it. I have drank myself to sleep because I just no longer want to be awake for the moment, because there's a lot going on. I think that more so than physically, a lot of us are being affected mentally and emotionally by the situation. And so we're using that as coping skills. Not to mention, liquor stores are considered essential, apparently. So again, the problem with that is, again, it can cause inflammation. There's a lot of things that alcohol does, but it does definitely not support our immune system. Now, on top of that, again, you think that these would be common sense, but if you smoke, obviously that is another carcinogenic thing that can actually depress your immune system and cause inflammation and issues throughout your body. So again, those are things you can do immediately, right now, today, that will absolutely affect your immune system and benefit you by not putting those into your body. So keep that in mind. Another one that I found really, really super interesting, I did a little bit of research on this as well. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because you can actually Google this and look into it a little bit. Actually, if you just Google how to boost your immune system, you're going to come on some of this. But they talked about how fasting can also reset your immune system. So just something to think about. I'm not against fasting. I think you need to make sure that you're following certain parameters and being aware of what you're doing, and make sure that you're doing it correctly. But Google it, check it out. There's definitely some benefits to fasting, including intermittent fasting. One of them is autophagy, which means that your body actually breaks down old sick cells. It's like taking old parts, like off junker cars, to build new cars or better cars. So your body takes and breaks down old cells and uses them for parts. So there's definitely some benefits there, but you've got to do some research so you understand, do your due diligence. So things you can do immediately, go do them right now. All right, things that you can do over time. Obviously, some of us have a lot more in the way of, maybe we have a lot of toxins running through our body because we've been eating a lot of shelf-stable foods or junk that has additives and preservatives in them. It's going to take you a little longer to get some of those things out of your system. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you have to do some sort of juice fast or cleanse detox. You know what? Drink lots of water and eat healthy foods. That's really your best option for cleansing a lot of that garbage out of your system. Number 2, learn to eat for nutrients or nutrition. Your body needs those in order to do its job. If you don't provide the nutrients that it needs, your body just runs on, it's kind of like putting really crappy gas in your car and it kind of sputters around and it runs, it just doesn't run great. So it's kind of the same thing. If you're eating a lot of junk and really, they call them empty calories. If you're eating a lot of food that has empty calories and no nutrients, that's not going to benefit you when it comes to fighting any sort of issues that you might have. So when you start to eat foods that are nutrient dense, lots of fruits and vegetables, clean, whole, healthy foods that aren't shelf stable and don't have a lot of additives and preservatives in them, that's your best bet to help boost your immune system. Now there's some other things that you can do alongside that, some supplements and things like that, but keep in mind that really your best bet is to get nutrients from whole foods. Another one is to really, I know this is tough, especially right now, but if you can reduce stress and fear, 2 things that really take a toll on your body because your body's so busy dealing with that and the cortisol and the effects of that it really has a hard time supporting your immune system. So if you can, there's a lot of things you can do to reduce stress. Meditation or prayer, write in a gratitude journal, slow down, take some time off, spend some time with family, which is honestly a really great option as well, because of course the more that you feel safe and with family, the better off you're going to do and feel. So keep that in mind. Another one to avoid, if you want to be optimal, some things to avoid would be vegetable and canola oils, soybean oils, peanut oils. Stick to the healthier fats. Anytime that you are taking in things that can cause, even things that could cause inflammation. I'm a full believer that a lot of multi-grains are not as good for you as you think they are. And anything that's highly allergenic or highly inflammatory is probably not a great option at this point. And we could probably do some research and tell you exactly why when it comes to inflammation and your immune response. So again, there's definitely, just pay attention. I mean, it's a little bit of common sense. I'm very aware that, the food industry makes it really difficult to determine whether or not a food is really truly healthy because they're going to market it to make it sound like it is when it isn't. If you just keep in mind that if it is shelf stable in a box, it's probably not good for you. Like, it's probably not your best option. So again, choose the best that you can. If you can't kill it or grow it, it's probably not really a great whole food. So, and you know what? I'm not going to apologize for this. I want you to be healthy. Again, I think that we're learning something. The standard American diet is not working for us. We have an issue in this country with metabolic disease and issues that stem from eating the wrong things. So the more that you can do, and this is an individual choice, you're going to have to make that choice yourself in order to support your immune system. Now, when it comes to good nutrition, a lot of people say, well, what supplements can I take? You really can't substitute or out-supplement a really good diet. Like, there's just so many benefits to actually getting the whole food where the nutrients and the vitamins themselves are more absorbable and readily used by the body more efficiently. So, it's kind of like when you take a multivitamin, my advice for a good multivitamin is, number 1, it's going to be more than 1 pill. So keep that in mind. But it should also be made from superfoods and not just a synthetic substance. So again, you guys, this isn't I guess could be rocket science. Apparently it is. It really isn't. Make good choices. Do things that help keep you sane. I would say right now the mental and emotional stress is probably the biggest strain on most people, especially with a lot of people still being out of jobs, and gyms are, at least in my area, are still closed. So do the best you can. You guys, I love you and want you to be happy and healthy. I want to fight this off, and I think that we need to, as a community, join together and do so. So hang in there. Please, if you have questions, please leave a comment below. You can also message me directly on Facebook Messenger. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And here's the cool thing. If I don't know, we will find out together. Have an incredible night, you guys. Stay healthy.